Hey everybody, Lady Luck here, and we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Now, all summer long, I'm going to be celebrating by playing on SpinQuest.com, which is an American-owned social casino. It obviously features over 1,000 slot games and live blackjack, live craps, live bubble craps. Head on over to SpinQuest.com. Get yourself a $30 coin pack for just $10.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit SpinQuest.com for more details.
All new drinks are now at McDonald's. Like the strawberry watermelon refresher, the mango pineapple refresher with popping boba, and the Sprite berry blast topped with cold foam. Who knew ice cold drinks could be so fire?
The sun's out, and so is our new drink lineup. From the Blackberry Passion Fruit Refresher to the Dirty Dr. Pepper. And they all pair perfectly with some fries. Refreshers contain caffeine. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I cashed out my entire 401k thinking someone stole my identity.
A fake email cost me my dream home after I sent my personal information to a scammer.
My AI agent wired thousands to an account I'd never seen.
When billions of people feel unsafe, that's no longer a security problem. It's an economic one. At Gen, we're building the trust layer for a more fearless planet with products and technologies from our global brands, Norton, LifeLock, Avast, and MoneyLion. See it in action at gendigital.com.
Hello, I'm Ania Lichtarowicz, and this is Somewhere on Earth, your weekly look at technology and our everyday lives. Today we have guests from Venezuela and the USA. It's Tuesday, the 19th of May 2026. Welcome to the Global Tech Podcast. Coming up today, how one Colombian startup is trying to transform the refrigeration industry. NanoFreeze founder and CEO Isabel Pulido joins us to explain how biotechnology could cut cooling energy use by up to 50%, reducing both costs and carbon emissions in one of the world's most energy-intensive industries. And later, why is so much technology still inaccessible to people with disabilities? We speak to inclusive design expert and author Regine Gilbert about why accessibility is still treated as an afterthought, and how emerging technologies risk making the problem even worse if companies don't rethink how they design products from the start. That's Somewhere on Earth, where tech meets humanity. The refrigeration industry is responsible for about 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions, driven by both high energy use and traditional cooling gases. But one Colombian entrepreneur believes biotechnology could dramatically change that. Isabel Pulido is the founder and CEO of NanoFreeze, a company developing biodegradable bio-nanotechnology designed to make refrigeration cleaner, cheaper, and far more energy efficient. The company says its technology can reduce energy consumption in refrigeration systems by up to 50%, helping businesses lower both costs and carbon emissions while improving cold chain access in areas with limited electricity. NanoFreeze's innovations are already being used in refrigeration panels, thermal packing and cooling systems for industries, including food transport. Isa has also been selected as part of this year's Cartier Women's Initiative, a global programme recognising women entrepreneurs creating social and environmental impact through business, which we've reported on before. I caught up with Isa from our office in Caracas to find out more.
Refrigeration is the second most polluting industry in the world because it represents up to 23% of the world's energy consumption. And this makes it a very expensive industry because, to give you an idea, the world spends every year $4 trillion in energy, but refrigeration represents $1.1 trillion. And of course, this results also in a very polluting industry because every year this is equivalent to almost 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide. Besides being a very polluting and expensive industry, this is a very exclusive industry. We don't realize this because we live in cities where refrigeration is accessible. But for example, in my country, in Colombia, 32% of the population is rural. And this rural population don't have access to electricity, and therefore they don't have access to refrigeration. And we just don't realize how important is this, because these people don't have access to health, to medicines, not even to perishable foods. So this makes a really huge problem that we want to resolve here in NanoFreeze.
So you're specifically looking at commercial fridges, so not something that I'm going to have in my own kitchen, but these are things that are used in restaurants, perhaps, maybe even in hospitals. Explain why you've decided to concentrate on that particular area.
We think that the most important players in this problem that I just mentioned to you are the corporates. To give you an idea, a company that produces beverages and owns a certain number of refrigerators, they are representing a 5% of the emissions of the total refrigeration because of the huge energy demand that these refrigerators in their own usage represent. So to resolve this problem from the main players in the market, we decided to work with the commercial refrigerators. First, because we understand that these big players in the market are very important to contribute to this problem. So to working with them, we know that we are having a huge impact. It doesn't mean that in the future we will launch a product that probably will fit home refrigerators and that will adapt to to people homes and will help to resolve this problem from homes. But from now we just want to resolve the problems with the big corporates because it's easier to have a huge impact with them.
Tell me now a bit more about the biotechnology and what you've actually done, because it's incredibly clever and the results are phenomenal. You can in effect freeze liquid at a higher temperature than it should be freezing at. Start from the beginning, explain it all to me, this really interesting tech bit.
Well, the technology itself was born through a bacteria called Pseudomonas syringae. This bacteria can be found in the nature, in our daily lives. It's responsible of creating hail, snow, and even rain, because it contains freezing bacteria enzymes in their cellular membrane. So we found this bacteria, and by realizing the importance of this bacteria and how familiar it is with us, we just decided to use it as an inspiration and as a source of the enzymes to create our own bio-nanotechnology. So our technology don't use the bacteria itself, but it makes use of the enzymes. So we immobilize these enzymes in high conductive nanoparticles of different materials. And with this, we are replicating the bacteria functionality. So by doing this, we are giving these enzymes resilience to temperature changes, and this is how we can just reach higher freezing points. So the nature of the bacteria itself is just to freeze at higher temperatures, but NanoFreeze replicates this functionality by immobilizing these enzymes, and it can reach even higher freezing points. This results, of course, in energy efficiency for certain applications or even longer cold chain cycles, which also is helpful for cold transportation and food transportation and more. So to give you an idea, this enzyme and the bacteria is not harmful for humans or for the planet. You can find it everywhere. And we just found a very famous company in Switzerland, United States, and Chile that uses these enzymes to create artificial snow when the temperature is too high to have snow naturally. And they commercialize it in ski parks. So this is how the Alps ski parks works, for example. They produce artificial snow by using these enzymes. So today, this company is our supplier. And the difference is that we just don't use the free enzyme because it's too weak to temperature changes. It only can be used once, and then it loses its functionality. So what NanoFreeze does is to use this enzyme and immobilize it in nanoparticles of high conductive materials. So this results in a very powerful combination, because if you place this in water, you can cool faster. You can cool in the half time that you will normally last to cool a certain volume of water. So this is amazing for the refrigeration industry, because if you use this technology in a chiller that uses water to cool, a chiller is a common machine used in data centers that uses water to cool the indoor spaces, then you will, instead of using 1 hour to cool this space, you will use half an hour. And the result is that you can save energy, you can save carbon emissions due to the kilowatts saved, and also you can generate economic savings for the companies that make use of this technology. So at the end, we're just replicating a natural system, a natural performance of a microorganism, and we're just replicating in nanoparticles. So this is how we got the inspiration, this is how we are improving and using the natural resources to make efficiency in the refrigeration industry.
What's up, everybody? It's Bretsky, and America is turning 250. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate that than playing on an American-owned social casino, SpinQuest.com. With all of your favorite games, live craps, bubble craps, live blackjack, there's no better place to play for free and win real cash prizes. SpinQuest.com.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit SpinQuest.com for more details.
I cashed out my entire 401k thinking someone stole my identity.
A fake email cost me my dream home after I sent my personal information to a scammer.
My AI agent wired thousands to an account I'd never seen.
When billions of people feel unsafe, that's no longer a security problem. It's an economic one. At Gen, we're building the trust layer for a more fearless planet with products and technologies from our global brands, Norton, LifeLock, Avast, and MoneyLion. See it in action at gendigital.com.
All new drinks are now at McDonald's. Like the strawberry watermelon refresher, the mango pineapple refresher with popping boba, and the Sprite berry blast topped with cold foam. Who knew ice cold drinks could be so fire?
The sun's out, and so is our new drink lineup. From the Blackberry Passion Fruit Refresher to the Dirty Dr. Pepper. And they all pair perfectly with some fries. Refreshers contain caffeine. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So Isa, tell me, this is a proven technology. It's already been commercialized in other areas. You mentioned the ski parks and the artificial snow. It freezes the water, the liquid, quicker at higher temperature, so therefore you don't need to go use as much energy to decrease the temperature for the freezing to happen. Your ice lasts longer, so particularly in transportation situations, that's really positive. That's going to cut down costs significantly. Can you give me some numbers now? Because all of this sounds really positive, but when you break it down, what are we looking at when it comes to energy use, greenhouse gases, costs for companies? What are your final figures?
When it comes to food transportation, for example, we already commercialized our cold goods, which are cold packagings, in the agricultural exporters here in Colombia. We already got 41 clients where we already prevented more than $764,000 in food waste last year. So the impact keeps coming because, well, preventing the food to lose its cold chain, you can guarantee the safety and the freshness and the quality of the food that you're transporting. So you're not going to rely again on food waste. And this is how we work. By preventing the cold chain rupticity, then we can just guarantee the longer shelf life and the freshness of the food that we're transporting. Regarding the energy efficiency sector, we already scaled our technology in more than 244 refrigerators in Colombia and in Mexico, where our technology already prevented more than 15 tons of carbon dioxide in just 1 year. This is equivalent to almost $40,000 in energy cost saved. So this is very important for the clients because besides having a good impact on the planet, they're also saving operating costs. So we're making them more profitable with our technology while generating a good impact. So it's very impressive.
And your current clients are who then? Food, I assume? Food industry, pharmaceuticals, drugs? And what about data centers?
Our technology today is being commercialized in the food industry, but not in the pharma because we don't have the permits. As a startup, it's really challenging to obtain these permits and probably expensive. So we decided just to start with the food industry and with the beverages industry. So our clients are, for example, AB InBev, which is worldwide, which they are called Grupo Modelo in Mexico and Bavaria in Colombia. We also work with PepsiCo, which is Postobon in Colombia. And we also work with exporters such as AgroFresh, which are exporters here in our region. We also have clients in health because at the beginning we managed to get the health certifications, which are not the same for pharma. But we got the health certifications, and our clients are Compensar, which is the biggest health company here in Colombia. And we also got SynLab, which is international company for biologic transportations. So we just transport biologic samples with our technology, and we can keep them like for longer periods in transportation cold, preventing any damage during the transportation.
And what kind of impact will you now being part of the Cartier Women's Initiative give you? Because it is a very prestigious award. It's a very prestigious scheme. It's very structured. You get a lot of support. Tell me how that is going to boost NanoFreeze.
It's already boosting it. It's already happening. Like I can see the difference because from now we just started to receive mentorships in different areas, and we can choose what to work, where we need support. So that's really valuable for a startup and for a founder as me. So I just find very valuable today the mentorships, all of the opportunities that we're getting, this type of showcases, because this is how other companies and customers can notice that they can just implement new technologies. So it's already showing a lot of impact for NanoFreeze, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity with Cartier. And I'm very sure that in the future, like the price itself and the budget and the opportunities will just be even more powerful than today. So besides having a budget that could be invested, for example, in the certifications that we need, or for example, in boosting the technology in other markets and soft landing in other markets, we can also get like investors introduction and more. So it's a community that gives a lot of opportunities. I will say that we're already starting to see the results, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next months.
Isabel Pulido, CEO and founder of NanoFreeze. There will be more from Isa in the Pod Extra ad-free edition of the show. Please search pod.fan somewhere on Earth Podcast, and for just $10 a month, you can have lots more ad-free soap. Applications are now open for the 2027 Cartier Women's Initiative Awards, supporting women-led impact businesses around the world. Entrepreneurs can submit their entries until June the 16th, 2026. More information is available on the Cartier Women's Initiative website. We know technology can transform lives, but too often it still excludes the very people who could benefit most from it. From websites that can't be used with screen readers to apps and AI tools that aren't designed for disabled users in mind, accessibility remains a major problem across the tech industry. Regine Gilbert is an inclusive design expert, educator, and one of the editors of the book Digital Accessibility Ethics, Disability Inclusion in All Things Tech, which looks at how technology can be built to work for everyone, including people with visual, hearing, motor, and cognitive disabilities. The book has contributions from a global coalition of experts and advocates and calls for urgent action. Regine argues that inclusive design isn't just ethical, it also leads to better products for everyone. I asked her why we are still designing technology that leaves millions of people behind.
It's a very layered issue. It's not just one thing that is keeping us in a place where things are made inaccessible. A lot of issues in general are siloed, and we have this way of approaching things that doesn't include everyone, right? So when we think about our essential services, healthcare, banking, emergency systems, how are we creating things that don't have barriers, right? I think what happens is people start working on something, they're mostly thinking of themselves, and they're not thinking about the larger audience. And in the United States, which is where I live, 1 in 4 people live with a disability. And when we aren't including these folks or even thinking about them because we're in our own heads, we're in our own little silos, we continue to repeat the same pattern of leaving people out.
Can you give me some examples about how people are left out? Because so much of our lives is online or needs an app or needs something technological to get us to be able to access it. Can you tell me how these people are being impacted?
Well, I could tell you how we're all being impacted in one way. I think so many people are on social media, and when you are out and about and you're looking at your social media and you are watching a video and the video has no captions on it and you don't have your headphones, so you can't really hear what's going on, you just see the mouth moving, this is a barrier, right? This is a barrier that everyone faces. If you can't get an understanding of what's going on in this scenario because you can't hear it, you don't have captions. So that's just one way that's a general for most folks. I think captions we've seen are so helpful for so many, and not just folks who are deaf or hard of hearing.
But it's not easy really sometimes to put captions on. I know what I'm like with the podcast. It's like, all right, I need to put a transcript in, and sometimes it works as a Word document. Sometimes it doesn't on certain platforms. Sometimes I have to paste it in, cut and paste it in, the actual text. Sometimes I haven't pressed a button somewhere. It's not easy for me to do it.
Right. And I think that is one of the barriers to entry, is that when people run into any sort of roadblock, they say, well, I don't want to do it. And with that comes, whether you're having a podcast or you have a store or you have anything, you're also losing an audience, you're losing a customer. So the question has to be for the person, for the entity, for the organization, can I put in this extra effort? Can I do this once? Well, when I did it once, it was hard to do. I don't want to do it again. So the way that I like to approach this is doing it for the first time, it's difficult. Doing it the 5th time, it's less difficult. Doing it the 10th time, it's becoming easier. The 20th time, the 50th time, the 100th time. The 100th time you got it. It becomes part of your workflow. It becomes part of your structure. And I think what happens with people wanting to make things accessible is that doing it the 1st time, the 5th time, the 10th time is hard. So we don't want to do it. But if history teaches us anything, it's that you have to kind of keep doing it. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I think what's happened is that frustration comes in, the roadblock comes in, and people just turn around and don't do it.
It's not only a technical issue, it's also an ethical one, isn't it?
Yes. And the hard part, I think, about ethics is like who gets to define it. And in the book, in the digital accessibility ethics book, we were so lucky to bring in, besides Lainey, Chancey, and me, 36 other authors with over 600 years of experience combined. And from that, we said, we're not the experts in everything, but these people are, right? And so in the book, we get to share what ethics looks like from different lenses, because you can't just slap one lens and say, well, this is ethical and this is not.
Where should a company or a government start? Because every problem, it appears to me, deserves a different solution. There's never a one fits all, is there? And especially when it comes to disability and all those hidden disabilities, all the neurodiversities, etc. You really have to be very nuanced with each individual, don't you?
Yes. I mean, the hard part, I think, for a lot of folks, a lot of organizations is where do we begin? And one of those areas for folks to begin is to look around them. I'm sure that there are people within organizations that may need accommodations. And if that's the case, then what other things can you do to think about your customers? Like if you're accommodating certain people within your organization, let's say they're neurodiverse in some ways and need whatever accommodations, like how can you branch that out to your customer base? When you're thinking about your employees who are deaf and blind and the accommodations that you make, how can you extend that to your clients, to your guests? I think people look at it, and I've seen in the past where people say, oh, it's so hard. And I said, well, everything is hard in the beginning, but we have to look at what we have. And I think another piece of it is education. And Kate Sanka, who heads up Teach Access, and Rolando wrote a chapter on education and digital accessibility ethics. And it's something that I think that education piece and being able to teach people on a regular basis, not just doing a one-time training once a year, being able to educate people on a regular basis is one of the ways. So I would say first, within organizations, looking at who's around you, looking at what accommodations you're already making, how can you extend those? And then secondly, having education and providing people with getting to know and understand what accessibility is.
That was Regnier Gilbert, editor of Digital Accessibility Ethics, Disability Inclusion in All Things Tech, which explores how technology can be built to better serve people of all abilities. Our conversation continues in the Pod Extra edition of the show. And don't forget about those reviews. Please leave us a rating on your favourite podcasting platform. This really helps get our little logo seen on podcasting platforms. So to remind you, you can contact us via email hello@somewhereonearth.co or through our socials. We're pretty much everywhere but X. Search for Soap Tech or Somewhere on Earth podcast and you should be able to find us. That's all for this week. The production manager is Liz Tuohy and I'm the editor. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, America! It's time to celebrate and play your favorite Las Vegas casino games by American-owned SpinQuest.com. What's better than fireworks and American pie? Hitting a blackjack in the palm of your hand, and you won't lose your fingers. Over 1,000 games, including slots and live dealers. And $30 coin packs are on sale for $10. SpinQuest.com. By American players, for American players.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit SpinQuest.com for more details.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup meal at McDonald's is underway with one of 9 legendary cups in the lineup. Christian Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Son Heung-min, Alphonso Davies, Santi Jimenez. And between the posts, it's Grimace. Get one of 9 collectible cups with the FIFA World Cup meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
Another game day. But while he's glued to the TV, I'm winning my own way with Mistplay.
Let's go!
Mistplay rewards me just for playing free mobile games. I earn points and swap them for gift cards to Amazon, Uber Eats, and Sephora.
Yeah! We won!
And I just redeemed a Target gift card. Woo! Download Mistplay today and turn your downtime into rewards.